Hello family, welcome back to another YouTube video. If it's your first time here, welcome. My name is Lucy Brown. I surely do hope that you enjoy this video, and if you do indeed, please do make sure that you consider becoming part of this family by hitting the subscribe button down below. Before we get into the video, let's get the usuals out of the way. Please do make sure that you give this video a massive thumbs up. Remember, giving this video a like basically helps YouTube recommend this video to a larger audience. If you'd also like to be notified whenever I upload fresh, new, crispy content, you're more than welcome to hit the notification bell down below. There's quite a number of things that I remember hearing while growing up, and one of the sayings was, in order for a relationship to work, the guy has to love the woman more, or the guy has to be more committed into the relationship more than the woman in order for the relationship to last. And I remember hearing this while it was just a thing that I knew or remember hearing while I was growing up. And at some point in my life, I actually believed it. But at this point in my life, there's a lot of things that I'm actually questioning and rethinking and thinking to myself, why do I actually believe and hold on to certain things? Because as a human being, I really do want to grow, and I want to grow from ideologies, from mindsets, from thoughts that are not necessarily true, or mindsets that might be harmful towards the relationships that I have now that I am married, towards the relationship that I have with my husband. And there's a number of things that I have been processing in my mind pertaining to this concept, or this assumption, should I say. So I'm not going to say that in this video I'm going to be debunking that it's a myth, but rather I'm going to say that in this video I'm really just basically going to be processing my thoughts with you guys. And obviously you guys are more than welcome to leave a comment down below and tell me where you guys are at regarding this assumption. I've actually came to a realization that the dynamics of a lasting, healthy relationship is actually way more complex than one person loving the other more than the other. And let me just give you guys a bit of context. Prior to me meeting my husband, I had never been in a serious, let me not say serious, because it now like makes me look, but let me just say, well, serious, yeah, but let me say a long-term sort of relationship. I think the longest relationship I had been in prior to my husband was like 3 months, and I guess I've spoken a little bit on it. And even that 3 months, like, I pushed just to get to that 3 months, just so that, you know, I can have a record behind me. But so that was the longest relationship I had been in. And then I met my husband. But then I realized that there was quite a number of things that not things as per se, but mindsets and concepts that I had, that when I look back at, and sometimes even some of the things that I still do, right, because I am still learning, you know. So I never ever want to put it in a way as if the fact that I do content on relationships that I've achieved my goal and that I've arrived. It's just a constant journey, and me putting my journey out online to say that, you know what, I recognize that I do have areas of growth and I need to grow in those areas, but I just actually want to be honest with them and bring in or rope in a number of several women or several people, because there's obviously guys who watch these videos as well, rope in several people so that we can grow together, right? So there's a number of things, mindsets, concepts that I held on to, still hold on to, and that's why I mentioned that there's a lot of processing and a lot of thinking that I am doing in terms of questioning myself of why do I hold on to certain things, and do they truly benefit me and my relationships around me. And you know, I do get it in a sense of where this whole concept of that, the fact, or the concept of men, if a man loves you more, then the relationship is more likely to work, is because as women we taught that we are more emotional beings, right? That we are more emotional beings, like we can, you know, we can take things from a 0 to 100 like really fast, you know. And there's a lot of things that, you know, are said about women. For instance, you know, a happy wife a happy life, and those things are all cute and they're nice. But sometimes I think to myself, are those sayings in a sense not the ones that are kind of limiting us to grow? You know, especially for the fact that I am a Christian and I want to grow in the fruits of the Spirit. I don't want to hold on to or behave in a certain way and pride myself for behaving in a certain way, whereas I know my partner does not enjoy it, or I know that the opposite sex does not enjoy it, but I'm priding myself in a certain way, and it does not even glorify God. So for me, it really was and really is about personal growth. I don't want to hold on to sayings or hold on to assumptions that I grew up hearing, and holding on to those things as a wall or as a front to kind of cover up my insecurities, my hurt, my lack of growth, and I get it, right? I get how it's so nice to have a partner who's like going to beg you, going to run after you, a partner that's just going to, you know, have that super, you know, soft spot for you, that when you cry, they'd be like, okay, let's change the topic. Or when you want something, you know, spoiled brat vibes. I get it, it's beautiful, you know, as I'm not going to speak for all women, but I'd like to believe that majority of women actually, you know, would like a guy who would go out of his way, you know, to treat you like a baby, if I can put it in that, not a baby, but, you know, princess vibes. You know, there's actually a video I recall coming across on social media a while back, I think sometime last year or something like that. I can't really remember, but I think, if I was not mistaken, it was not Oprah, it was Michelle Obama. She was having an interview with someone, but I think she's had this conversation or this interview with quite a number of people. But anyway, she was actually talking about her marriage with Barack Obama, and she said something that really stuck with me so much, because I felt like at that time I resonated so much with what she was saying. And I feel like for me, I don't know whether it's an advantage or disadvantage, because I didn't have much dating experience prior to meeting my husband. There's a lot of things that I truly only got to learn about relationships, or got a true understanding or meaning of it. Some things truly are just head knowledge, right? But when you go through something, it truly does give you a much more in-depth sort of meaning of certain things. It's almost as if an 18-year-old talking about life and a 95-year-old person talking about life, the depth of how they're going to talk about life is different, because the one who's 95 years old has actually went through the trials and the tribulations. The one who's 18-year-old is really at the peak of their life. They're enjoying life, everything seems good, and for them it's literally like nothing can ever go wrong as long as I do what I need to do type of vibe, you know. So anyway, she was saying that in her marriage there was never ever a 50-50 type of situation going on in her marriage. And I remembered even like a lot of things that I used to think about, like for instance, how I mentioned on one of my videos that I don't think when you come into a marriage, or saying to people that before you get into a marriage, you need to make sure that you are 100% and your spouse or your partner is also 100%, so that when you'll come together, you'll you know, that the other one's not trying to complete the other one and vice versa. And I'm like, yeah, it makes logical sense. It sounds just about right. It sounds nice and all of that. But I truly don't think that is, you know, realistic, because as human beings, we're all constantly growing, right? We are not, or let me speak for myself rather, that when I came into marriage, I knew very much that I was not 100%, that I came with my own baggages and my husband came with his own baggages. So it's truly just the willingness to go through and to unpack the baggage that the person has in order for you guys to get to a much more healthier place. So she was saying there was never a place where they were at 50-50, and I agree that when you're going to go into a relationship, and a relationship that you expect to last, I genuinely do believe that each party is gonna have to give 100%, and not just giving 100% in as much as we want to give 100% from both sides. there are going to be different seasons in your guys' life. You know, there's going to be times where I, as the female, has to put in 70% of the work while he's putting in 30% of the work. Or times where I'm putting in 10% of the work and he's literally putting 90% of the work, you know. So I truly do think when it comes to a lasting and a healthy sort of relationship, it truly is about balance. Coming back to the topic that men, you know, when a man loves more, that the relationship will last. And I am getting to a place where, or I truly don't think that the assumption is necessarily accurate, because I feel maybe at times in a relationship can start off, it can, you know, seem as if the guy is the one who loves the most because he's doing most of the pursuing and he truly does want to please you. I think that's normal at the beginning phases of a relationship. But as time goes on, I've found out that roles can switch up really quick. And it all depends on the season that you guys are on, like I mentioned. And again, it does depend on when you are in different seasons of your life, you've got different needs. Do you understand what I'm saying? Just the way when I was 18 years old, my needs as an 18-year-old are definitely different from my needs as at this age that I'm at. And I found that as you grow, your needs change. Even your love languages may change at times. One of the reasons why I think a lot of people, or many people, still hold on to this belief is romantic idolization. I think that popular culture often romanticizes the idea of unbalanced love. For an example, you would see two people in a relationship where, for instance, the woman does something like very, let's just say I actually saw this on one of the TV shows that I was actually watching on Showmax. This lady, whenever they'd actually get into a fight, her and her boyfriend, she'd strip naked and run outside so that she can catch people's attention and the guy would be embarrassed. And I thought to myself, like, you know, like what like caught me off guard is the fact that she just doesn't even care of how people are going to view her or whether people are going to see her private part. She doesn't care. She says that when she's in that element, she just, you know, she loses her marbles, you know. And obviously in this case, the guy was also, you know, he had his own things, but I really don't want to go into that. But at times we see an unbalanced type of love where, for instance, women would throw tantrums in public. Then you'd see this guy like chasing after her, running after her. Then you'd hear people saying, "Oh, like this guy truly loves her," you know. So I've seen that at times the notion of the topic that we actually speaking about kind of gives us as women leeway to behave in ways that are just or should just be unacceptable. Do you understand what I'm saying? I feel like we celebrate and we romanticize a guy acting stupid for us. You know, I feel like when we speak about, oh, this guy really loves this girl, he's head over heels over this girl, it's a guy who's not willing to take a no from you. And it's a guy who basically will do just about anything just so that you are happy. Even if it means that he breaks all ties with his family so that you are happy. What I've actually also realized is that at times when some guys do show traits of obsession, we misinterpret that as, this guy is truly passionate, you know, about me. I've heard certain stories about people who found themselves in compromising situations where they were abused in different types of ways. How at times it starts off as if it's cute, you know, the fact that he calls you every 1 hour, or the fact that he knows your whereabouts and all of that. At the beginning it seems cute. You're just like, oh, my person loves me. He agafuni next ingami, interpreted as he's just, you know, he's over he's overprotective with me, right? And we view those things as cute. Oh, your partner really loves you. The fact that he wants to always be right here with you. We often find those things cute when we see it on TV and when we see it on other people, up until you are in the position where you feel like you don't have your own privacy. You don't have a say. You are basically being treated like a child or a pet. Like literally this person controls your life, you know. And whenever you voice out certain things, it's almost as if you are unappreciative of how much this person loves you, and that you're unappreciative of how much this person actually cares for you. Past experiences and personal experiences can actually shape a person's belief pertaining to anything, right? So if you have witnessed or you have experienced being in relationships where your relationships actually lasted because the guy, you know, was overpowering you with love, you might be of the belief that the guy loving the woman more is a key factor to having a lasting, healthy relationship. Here's my thing with that, right, is what happens when you get into a relationship with a person who truly understands themselves, in a sense. You know, I'm just going to use that word for a lack of a better word. I'm not in any form, way, or shape trying to say that guys who, who don't speak up for themselves don't know their value, or anything like that. What happens when you hold on to this view and you get into a relationship with a guy who says, you know what, I understand my roles as a man. I'm willing to give you love, to be there for you, but I too need to be able to receive some sort of love. What then happens in a case when you're in a relationship like that? Are you then going to be spitting words of, oh, this guy, he thinks he's high almighty, or oh, this guy, he's not man enough because he wants me to show him some sort of love? Or what woman come and say that, no, as a woman, we are not, the Bible doesn't tell us to love. It says men love your wives as Christ loved the church. Or what happens in a case where this guy loses his job, and you guys used to always go out, go on trips, go to restaurants once a week, do all of these nice, romantic type of things. Should he lose his job, are you then willing to step up that role, take you guys out on romantic dates, trips, and all of those things? Or all of a sudden then, he's not man enough? The reason why I'm making examples of such things is because I feel as if at times when we're talking about a guy loving you more, or a guy loving more than the woman, we are talking about tangible stuff. We're talking about a guy who's willing to spend more on the woman than the woman is willing to spend on him. A guy who's just gonna basically go out of his way to make sure that his woman's needs are being met. I've mentioned this before. I truly don't think with majority of men they have a problem with being a provider. I truly do think that the majority of them, oh, I don't know, in this day and age, I don't know, but I want to believe that the majority of them pride themselves in being providers. But what I'm actually trying to say in a nutshell is that I believe that in a healthy type of relationship, and especially if you're in a relationship where you wanted to last, in as much as we've both got our own love languages, I want my man to spend on me, right? But in as much as I also want my man to spend on me, I should also be willing to spend on my man, to make him feel special. In as much as my man wants to go out of his way to please me and to make sure that my needs and wants are being met, the same should be said about me, that I should actually also strive to make sure that the needs and wants of my man are being met, So what I'm actually saying is that I believe that a healthy sort of relationship, a healthy sort of partnership that I want to be in, when I define a healthy relationship, I'm actually speaking about where both of the parties are actually working and going out of their way to make sure that the other's needs are being met. Basically, a type of love that is balanced. And when I refer to balance, I'm not referring to 50-50, right? I'm referring to 100%, where wherever you are at, you are giving your best. Your best might be your 40%, but you are giving your best to make sure that this relationship is moving in that direction where we want it to be. Another reason why I think people hold on to this assumption is because there's some sort of perceived commitment that almost comes unsaid with this notion, meaning that people who hold on to this notion almost believe that if a man loves the woman more in a relationship, he is more committed to make the relationship work, and to work through conflicts because he's the one who's more invested. Yeah, that's the word I wanted. He is more invested into the relationship, and thus he's willing to work through conflicts, unlike a person who's at the same level as you or maybe underneath you. Whilst we might see in some situations or in some relationships this might be true, but personally, I don't think that one's level of commitment is primarily dependent on the amount of love they have for you. I found that there's different types of people. There's the type of people who just are problem solvers. Whether they are in relationships with people they love or not, their minds are just conditioned to just solve problems. So those type of people, in a way, I feel like it's dangerous in a sense to be in a relationship with them, because with that type of person, being in a relationship with the person who is a problem solver, at times it's very difficult for you to even tell if they've fallen out of love with you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because in their mind, they are always, or their mind is conditioned to solve problems, and it has nothing to do with love. It's just basically who they are. And then there's some people who can love you more than, or appear as if they love you more than you love them, but they're just not at that stage in terms of maturity to make a commitment to you. And hence for them, they'll tell you that, I love you, there's nothing I wouldn't do for you. And you know it very well that this person loves me, but this person is literally busy with every second person. They are just not at a mature level to make a decision to commit only to you. So for me, truly, love is a commitment. Love is a decision. It surpasses the feelings. It surpasses what I can provide for you in the now. It surpasses what you can provide for me in the now. So for me, the idea that one person must love the most in order for the relationship to last is just a lot of pressure on one person, in all honesty. I do feel like at times at the beginning it might seem fun and cute and all of that, but people get tired. Everyone, I don't care who says what, everyone wants to be loved, and loved in ways that mean something to them. So if I say, for instance, my love language is words of affirmation, and you come and give me gifts, to you, because it's your love language, you might be like, oh, Lucy's gonna appreciate this. And I'm like, yeah, I'm thankful for what you did, but it's still not hitting the spot, because for me, my love language is words of affirmation. So it's too much pressure to put on one person. What I truly believe in, and the idea that I'm leaning more towards, is a mutual type of love amongst people, where we are both willing to, jump hula hoops. We are both willing to make the sacrifices so that our needs are met. Where if my husband tells me that, A, B, and C, I'm not happy with it, that I should swallow my pride. And in all honesty, let me just talk about the one of kids. In all honesty, in as much as I don't hear men say that they like being spoiled, but I actually think those people actually like to be spoiled, guys. Like, jokes aside, I actually feel like those people like things, So you like gifts, you like being taken out. Just take or make the extra effort to make him also feel, loved, appreciated. Take him out, spoil him a little bit, even if it means that you're spoiling him with his own money. Like, spoil him, One thing about me, I will pride myself in spoiling a person that I love. I pride myself in spoiling my man. I do not think in any way it gives off desperate vibes. I'm just of the mentality that should anything happen to my partner, God forbid, I want him to leave this earth knowing that that woman loved me and loved me in ways that I preferred to be loved. That is truly important for me. It makes no use for me posting him on social media just for everyone to see that, oh, you know, she loves a man, putting up sweet words, whereas in reality, I'm not loving him in ways that he wants me to be, and vice versa. It makes no sense for him to be putting me up or for him to be saying sweet words in front of other people, whereas the things that truly mean something to me, he's not doing. So yeah, guys, in a nutshell, I believe that you guys have sort of grasped my concept or where I'm at in terms of this assumption. I just truly believe that to build a lasting relationship, it must be based on mutual love, mutual respect, commitment from both parties, and truly an attitude of wanting to outdo one another in terms of fulfilling one another's needs. Whether it means that he's going to love me more or look like he's loving me more in one season, where another season I'm going to look like he's loving me more, it truly doesn't matter. But the attitude behind it should be for us to continuously strive at satisfying one another and loving one another in ways that mean something to us. Well, guys, I'm going to end off the video here. I hope I made sense, because I feel like I was just speaking my heart and my thoughts out. Leave a comment down below and tell me, what did you think on or of this video? Where are you at in terms of this whole thought? Do you still think that, yeah, I truly do believe that in order for a relationship to work, a man must love you more? Because if he doesn't love you more, you are going to do the runarounds, you know? Or do you truly think that, you know what, those are olden days stuff? That is a fallen sort of mentality that should be done away with, and that we should be focusing on mutual type of love. Well, guys, please do make sure that you give this video a massive thumbs up. Remember, giving the video a like helps YouTube to recommend this video to a larger audience. If you have not subscribed by now, please, in the name of God, please do make sure that you subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to be notified whenever I upload fresh, new, crispy content, you are more than welcome to hit the notification bell down below. Thank you so much for your time, guys, and I'll see you on the next one.